first, let's talk about JPMorgan Chase. A lot going on there. This is the biggest U.S. bank by assets. Legal costs over $1 billion. What's going on at JPMorgan? This was not a good report, to say the least.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for JPMorgan, 2014 looks a lot like 2013. I think a lot of investors were looking forward to the end of legal costs, to rates going up and banks making more money this year. Neither one of those things happened. JPMorgan actually had more in legal costs this year than it did last year. And I think to some extent it's hard to be patient with these banks. The situation has been going on for 5, 6, 7 years now. I think people are just really getting tired of waiting for it to end.
Are these legal costs just the new normal? Because we used to think, okay, after this quarter, we're putting it behind us, they make these settlements. Is this just going to be part of doing business now that investors need to factor in?
Yeah, I think that's been part of my thesis for some time. What people forget is prior to the mortgage crisis, the banks were not completely clean then. If you think back to the days of Enron, WorldCom, the settlements over sell-side research and some of the big investment banks, it's not the first time the banks have taken billions of dollars in charges. I think you heard Jamie Dimon allude to that on the call today. There's always some sort of problem that you have to factor in when you're thinking about legal expenses for these banks. And I think, unfortunately, the market is coming to that realization now that when these banks are so big, so complex, it's really hard to keep your nose clean across the board when you have $2 trillion in assets.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon, in fact, talked about the banks being under assault. Is that fair of him to say? I mean, a lot of these problems are their own making.
Yeah, a lot of the problems are of their own making, but on the regulatory side, I think they are under assault to some extent. I think, in the past quarter, the capital requirements on JPMorgan, for example, were raised. And that's, again, emblematic of this phenomenon where there's one more issue. Just when you think the banks have raised enough capital, the capital requirements are raised. I think they're going to continue to be under attack for some time, though. They're easy targets, as you said. They've made a lot of mistakes, and they're paying the price now, and I think they're going to continue to pay the price for some time. They really have to justify their existence as large systemic institutions that really put American taxpayers to risk to a large extent.